So I just filmed a video, but I was kind of out of frame, and I always do that. It's a lot easier to do it when I do vertical videos because I can see it a little bit better, but this should be a little better. I've got a tab of Texas flint here, and I am gonna just make a little preform. Got a whitetail billet. I do need to get more hammerstones, but this is the one that I'm going to be using for cleaning up platforms and putting an edge around this piece here. Also, it would be nice to work around this and work to one side, but it is really flat, so I'm trying to get some flakes, or I just made another preform. It was a smaller tab, but this side was harder. This side was really nice, but I was able to work up and mostly preserve the nicer chert. So try to do that on this one too. Yeah, this angle should be better. Oh, it's usually when I see pedernales with these little pink specks, it's not as high quality. Up here looks better. It's really good quality. Looks good. This hammerstone is just a little bit too, not soft, but it doesn't have a lot of mass. So right now I just want to create an edge. It's still pretty good. I don't always do this where I like just zigzag it back and forth. I know some people, that's like the very first step they do regardless of how the rock works or looks. But on this tab, because it's completely square, I'm just gonna zigzag all the way around. And the reason I say that is because some rocks are really advantageous in the sense that there might be a shape or there might be a piece on the rock that is a really good natural platform, so it wouldn't make much sense to not utilize it. And this hammerstone is, I got this one for obsidian, and it's just kind of breaking on this chert here. I'm gonna leave some of those areas like that because they're gonna be really good platforms. Okay, now we can take some flakes. A little brighter here. This is not really going to be super long flake or anything. The flint on this side is better, it seems, than the flint on this side, so maybe that wasn't the best move. But I'm pretty confident that yes, we are seeing some of that gray flint in the middle, but it's still probably going to be pretty high quality and shouldn't give me much trouble. I'm not too worried about it. I would be doing this abrading with, I promise I would be doing this abrading with a hammerstone, but all my hammerstones are in a deep bucket back in Chico because I just moved, and I had brought a bunch of them from Albion when I was at the Albion knapping with Zalman and all them, but And there was tons of good hammerstones there on the beach. Picked up a bunch of them. My stash has been dwindling. Either breaking or I'm losing them as I move and stuff like that. Ow. So that one had the first flake, you could see it initiated, but it didn't release. And that's why it kind of created a bit of a hinge on the edge there. This would be a good platform right here, but right now it's not the right angle, so gotta fix that. Actually, probably be much more strategic to use this guy. This looks a little better. Oh, 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 oh. It's falling over. It shouldn't go too far. Sometimes you get areas of the edge where you could either go one way or the other, and it sometimes confuses me whether or not I should go one way or the other, and I just think, all right, well, which side is it closest to? So in this case, this is already turned over here, but it would be cool to also use that thickness to go that way. But look at the modeled, I mean, this is it. I would love to slab these tabs down the middle and make a point out of both sides. I'm sure someone out there does that, but that's actually a nice flake for like a projectile, smaller, maybe like a arrow point, of course. Purdy's or like a Edwards. Where's that hammerstone? I want this area to be straight in. Maybe I can get it to go that way over there. Same thing happened. Released. Sort of just makes sense that white-tailed deer are found in areas where there's harder churts and they have harder antlers, and mule deer is softer and is found in the west where there's obsidian. Just makes sense. Actually, I'm gonna keep working over here. Getting a little pink in there. A little pink in there. I don't know what I'm gonna make out of this. No idea. Really go anywhere at this point. Isn't it so cool when it's that reddish color under the cortex? Really nice. There's an opportunity for a flake on this side over here. It's not gonna go that far, but there's this flake coming in here and I don't want this to spread out much. Just hit it kind of like, oh, straight in more. Yeah, that's good. Got this hinge that was left over. One thing that I have a problem with in my knapping is that I either work too many flakes and let them spread out, and then they create ridges, and then I lose thickness to be able to remove later. And then another thing is that if I'm trying to make something thin, sometimes I'll make it thin too early, and then I won't have contours so that when I do that final finishing flakes, they don't really come off clean. So it's all a learning process. So it is nice to think about what kind of point style I'm going to make a little earlier on so that I can match that type of flake style, flake pattern. Another thing that I am notorious for is accidentally leaving the base unworked for too long. And then what ends up happening is then I gotta thin it later when everything else is thin, and then I break it. It's good to thin it down faster, earlier. And when it comes to thicker, heavier areas, I like to use this hammerstone to get in there. Brush away those areas from that previous flake, the delta area, so that I can isolate this little tiny guy. I'm not going for a big flake, I just want to remove that square edge there. Part of the process. Removing that. There it goes. Get rid of this little guy here. Edge thickening. Ordinarily, this would be a good platform, but there's a bulb on there. I might be able to remove it this way. Oh, well, I removed it, but now the platform's a little too thin. Grind this here. Totally misstruck on that first one, and I hit, but the good thing is I hit the area that was really thick next to the platform, and it didn't go. So it worked out. It would make a lot of sense to remove another flake right here. That's all I want. I just want the flakes going straight in. I don't mind if they're hinging over here. I don't know what to make yet. I still have some stuff over here, but I'd prefer to continue to thin this side off. This flake will have to go. Oh, hinged out right there. Sometimes you get a hinge in the platform, and then you have a very thin edge to strike the flake off of. Oh, bit of a hinge there. It's not too fun. Stay with the theme of working this side down. I'm going to start slowly changing my angle on this side because I don't want these flakes to go, I don't like that last one kind of hinged out. I was fortunately able to get one that kind of removed some of that. But I'm getting to the stage where this side is really flat. And that's where I run into problems. I'm always open for advice on knapping. It's always welcome. So now these flakes are I'm kind of coming down a little bit more, and I'm not pushing them as far inward. This area here, this hammerstone. For beginner nappers, sometimes if you're not sure if a platform if you're going to be able to contact it, if you think it's too inset, instead of looking at it like this, turn your edge and look at it like this and think, could my tool contact that area? And if it does, what would happen? And right now, it's actually, this is a little too inset. There's still a little nub on the top. This isn't going to be a big flake. This is just going to get rid of this. Oh, and I missed it. It's having problem releasing because there is a nub there. Might just have to do it with the hammerstone. I hate these big square edges like that. Edges turn. Now it's too low. This might be a longer flake. Double contacted. Both flakes turned out good, but I wish I didn't do that. But that's okay, because it's not really that bad. Oh, what is this looking like? Same problem that I run into on the base where I forget about thinning the base. I'm also doing on the, sometimes do on the tip. Come on, get out of there. Sometimes I have to look at the contours and think, all right, where am I gonna start my next row of flakes? Where do I want to go? Right now, I think I'm going to start from over here. They're not going to go that far because we've got this thinning flake up from the base, but I need to blend that width or blend that thickness in with the rest of it. It's a pinched platform. It's pretty small. I don't think it's super far. It's I kind of raised it and made it bigger. Oh, I crushed it. Oh my gosh. Totally missed it. Maybe I should have just held that one. Probably would have been a lot more accurate. It's just a accuracy problem. This is why punching with a horizontal punch at this stage would be very beneficial, which I'm not doing right now because this billet work is pretty fun. Get that fat area out of there. Tiny, tiny little flakes. Ah, see, there's that little guy. There it goes. I'm a lot more accurate when I'm holding it. Come on. I was saying in another video where I love this hammerstone because it's great for teaching. I did a demonstration with see that? I did a demonstration with a kid. He was probably about 5 or 6 years old. And he did great with this hammerstone. I didn't want to, I mean, he was using the Antler billet sometimes, but he wasn't able to remove flakes like he was with this hammerstone because this is harder and humans are used to, at least modern humans are used to using hammers like this. So he really knew what he was doing with something like that. And it worked out great. Well, I don't know what I'm going to make out of this. I'd love to make Clovis points, or at least try to. This is pretty thin. And there's not a lot of like body. Could just make it like a Pedernales point. But it's not been manufactured the way that they were. This combo is great because this hammerstone I can use to isolate a platform. Oh, come on. Maybe not. There it goes. And it's harder, so it chips out easily. Breaks off those tiny little flakes. But then once the platform is isolated, I can get the Antler tool and break off an extraordinary flake. It's spread out quite a bit. That's okay. If I would say a little bit of advice to someone who might be starting out with an Antler billet, at least from my 2 cents, is don't be afraid to swing for the fences. If you're confident in your platform, hit it hard. That's what works for me. Obviously depends on what material you're working, but if it's chert like this, yeah, give it a shot. Go for it. Thinning out the base here. Got a small flake right here to go back this way so that I can turn this edge over. Or actually, I'll just do that with the hammerstone. There it goes. And that also contours this back edge so that I can maybe get some better flakes over there. This platform I'm designing right now is supposed to go over here and maybe remove this area where we had that double contact bad platform. This is too heavy or too wide of a platform right now, but take these little isolating flakes. Still too wide, but at least the contour's right. You don't want to get too close to creating too pinched of a platform. There it goes. Yeah, I don't know what to make out of this, guys. Agate basin or something. Not very common in Texas, but it could be a really good pressure flaking candidate. Maybe I could make like a St. Mary's Hall or like a early triangle or something. Should ask Christian Markham, he'll know. Maybe I'll send some pictures of this preform to him. Looking kind of paleo. We're losing daylight here. Just a couple more flakes on the tip here. Yeah, if I want to pressure flake this, I'm not going to take too many super long thinning flakes right now and start to build up some contour so my flakes can actually go somewhere when I push them in. That's the other thing with me is pressure flaking. I'm not great at it. I'm decent at making small arrow points with pressure flaking because I don't have to go that far, but making long pressure flakes. I gotta watch that video from Jerry Kiker where he's talking about, aka Freeze Crack, where he's talking about pushing flakes long, and that would be a great reference for this because this is Texas flint. I think I'll leave it here, and then oh my gosh, I've been filming for 30 minutes. Jeez. I'll leave it here and then maybe start pressure flaking it.